Hi everybody, welcome very much to the channel. Today let's talk about Protestants and where the term originated from and what examples in reality can we see about them. First, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Use the links down below to know more about myself and let's get started. So Protestants is actually a religion, right? And let's not talk about the origins and some figures in that group. What matters is the name, right? Protestants, right? They are protesting, they were against something, right? And that's actually very important for a spiritual sovereign being to understand. Why were they called Protestants? Because they were against something, against, in this case, a religious system that was already in place, right? But they were actually wrong, right? And actually the people, or the group of people that were running and they were the authoritarian figure of the religious group that the Protestants were going against, they gave them that name, Protestants, right? Because the goal for you as a spirit is to create something new, to correct and replace something that you think is wrong, right? Instead of protesting and trying to combat and destroy whatever is in the world that you don't like, right? The right thing to do, quote unquote, spiritually speaking, is for you to create a group of entities, a group of spirits, a group of minds that they think alike and they want similar goals with you, and then you create a system or a platform or whatever it is that you want to replace or improve in your world. And if it's really better, it will attract more people to support and be a part of that community. And in the end of the day, whatever you were against or protesting about, right, in the wrong case, quote unquote, people will flock from that to your system, to your neighborhood, to your organization, to your website or whatever, right? So instead of the Protestants, let's use that example, instead of them criticizing the Catholic Church, the Christianity, whatever religious establishment was present at the time, they should have created their own. But instead, they still used the same system, even though they were against them, right? Even though they were protesting against them and trying to correct that original system, they still used it. They still used the Bible, they still used the same infrastructure, they still called the building where they practice their practices the church, right? So in the end of the day, they were not being themselves. They were not being real men and real women. They didn't have real thoughts and real feelings. They were basically recycling and reusing, right, somebody else's perspectives, names, practices, and ideologies against them in a perspective, because that has no effect, right? You can't really use somebody else's intellectual property against them. You have to create your own and make it better and then attract more attention to that thing itself. And that's basically the whole point of this video, right? So don't protest in your own life. Don't be a rebel without a cause, right? Don't just try to destroy and attack a system, people, places, and things that you don't agree with, or that you think it's practical, that you don't think as a purpose, that you think it's wrong, right? Instead, create something on your own. And this goes as deep as in your awareness, right? As in your mentality, your thoughts and feelings, right? That's actually how you get away from bad circumstances, even down to mental illnesses, even down to things like depression. Instead of you protesting and fighting that situation, right, you create something better. And then, spiritually speaking, you'll attract more spirits to work with you as a team, because teamwork makes a dream work, and you create better fluids, better thoughts, and better feelings, because never forget, everything comes from the spirit, and you are a spirit yourself, right? So the lesson is to just always be creating something that you think it's useful, and don't spend too much time and energy, don't use your Mars, passion, motivation, aggression, and frustration in the wrong way. Because actually, this just came to mind. A lot of people are constantly fighting against something outside or even against something inside, but that was generated by an external feedback, right? Instead of creating something better. So instead of using their Mars for creative purposes, instead of using their Mars for liberation purposes, they use their passions and frustrations to actually feed and enlarge whatever is making them pissed, frustrated, or blocked in the first place, right? So the Protestants basically were going against themselves because they were still giving power, energy, and attention to whatever establishment they were supposedly going against, that they were supposedly protesting about. And also, to finish the video real quick, what is the first thing you think when you hear the word protest? Political protests, right? Or social, cultural protests, right? And that's the exact same thing the Protestants were doing. When a government passes a law, passes a bill that people don't like, people go protest, but they are just giving attention, power, and time to whatever establishment is wrongdoing them. Instead, they should create a community that values what they want. So that in the end of the day, they don't even need the government for that. They need the government for basic things, infrastructure, banking, safety, like co-ops and whatever. But let's, for example, teachers. I'm from Portugal. In Portugal, there is a lot of problems between teachers, education, and the government, right? And always, like every year, there's like 3 or 4 strikes. The teachers always protesting, and nothing changes because they are still giving energy and are still feeding the establishment that is neglecting them. And if they took all that time and energy, all that passion and motivation, anger and frustration to create something between themselves, to support themselves in whatever case it might be, like, I don't know, getting better wages, right? They could creating a system to support that endeavor. Instead, they gave all their power away. They gave all their energy away to the government that in the end of the day doesn't change anything or takes too much time for the change to actually be good and seen as good by the teachers in this case, right? So don't be a Protestant, be a creator, right? Don't go against these religions, governments, or ideologies that you don't like or that you don't seem fit for your spirituality and values. Instead, create your own and be strong, confident about it, and more people will see that and flock to you and help that grow and improve as well. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings and emotions, and a whole bunch of individuality, creativity, and uniqueness as well. Leave a like and subscribe as always, and use the links down below to know more about me and book services and readings. Till the next time, as a Tariq Cloud Surfer, surfing out.